thanks everyone. Please let the roll show that Treasurer Carconi is recovering from eye surgery and Michelle Cash is recovering from knee surgery. So we have two out today. The rest of us are all present.
Yep.
All right, and we're going to move on to the approval of the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're going to move on to the approval of the agenda. I have nothing to add or delete. Is anyone?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're going to move on with the agenda. Announcements and communications. I forgot to announce that Carol's running a little late. She is on her way.
Okay.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Attended SEMCOG General Assembly the other week. They had some topics on emerging technologies, talking about looking at policies and uses around things like AI and drones. Some interesting stuff.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to the call to the public, where you can come up and talk about non-agenda related items or agenda items. If anyone has anything they'd like to come up and talk about, now's the time.
April 1st, 2024.
Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to reports. And our first report is DDA. Amy,
Good evening, everyone.
how you doing?
Oh,
Just a couple of highlights from my director's report that I submitted with the board packets. We are moving forward on the process of the new Hudson Road abandonment. We have been getting notification by Oakland County Road Commission that there will be a public hearing on May 1st. So I plan to attend. We may possibly have a few others from the township attending on behalf of that project. So hopefully I'll have another update for you at the May meeting. I had the opportunity with our DDA Vice Chair to attend the Oakland County Main Street Summit last month. It was a great training through that group. We got to meet with a couple of other DDAs from throughout the county, and they had some great presentations and training, so we're looking forward to continuing our involvement with that group. I had the opportunity to meet with a couple of specific individual businesses in our downtown to help them with some grant applications offered through Main Street America. They offer $10,000 grants to specific small businesses located on traditional Main Street. So we did have a couple in our district apply for that. So we're hoping to hear something in June on if anybody has been moved to the rounds for that. And you may have noticed, but the repair work has been completed on the west roundabout. So that is all done now. The light poles that are down along the ring road, I believe we have 4 that are down within the last couple of years. We finally got our light pole order in globes. We weren't supposed to get them till this summer, so we're extremely happy that they came in early. So we are working with an electrician, and hopefully we'll have those up and fixed the week of the 15th this month. So we're excited about that. It's been a long time coming. Then also I wanted to let you know that we met and had a stakeholders meeting with some business owners in our core about a possible crosswalk close to where our parking lot went in. So we met, discussed some options that might be available to us, and we're going to be moving forward with the planning of that project. We still don't have it finalized. We still need a scope of the project. But in conjunction with that, we're looking at the possibility of doing some sidewalk connections too that are sorely needed in the downtown area. It makes sense to us to bundle them together. So we are meeting with the sidewalk committee too in the next month or so to be able to discuss some possible funding options to help offset some of that cost. And we are looking at some potential improvements to the municipal parking lot. We've had some issues with people going over some of the landscaping because it didn't have an opportunity to establish. So we've been talking internally about some ideas and improvements going forward that'll make that more attractive. You should hear some more information by next month's meeting, but we'll be talking about it at our executive meeting, some possibilities. And then a couple events coming up. We have our Lion Rocks, which is our scavenger hunt, which will be taking place the week of April 22nd through the 28th. Right now, I believe we have about 8 businesses that are involved. They're donating prizes and will be painting rocks that match their business theme and hiding them along the Huron Valley Trail that week at all different times throughout the day. People will be able to go out and find those and take them into the local businesses. In return, they'll get some sort of prize donated by that business. So we had really great participation last year. I believe we had 24 prizes that were given out. And then we do one final big prize out of all those winners for a summer basket. And then we have confirmed our Touch a Truck date for this year. It'll be our second annual. We're extremely excited. It'll be on July 17th from 12 to 3 at the Lowe's location in New Hudson. And we have confirmed that the Sheriff's Department Aviation Unit will be bringing in a helicopter to do a landing at that event this summer. So we're really excited about that. And we're looking forward to having some of our new DPW equipment on display there too, to show off to the community. And we always have great participation with our fire department and our sheriff's department. So we're looking forward to that again this year.
And Amy, would you just explain to the public what that is? I mean,
Yep, the Touch a Truck event is an opportunity for families to come out and kids to get an opportunity to actually touch, feel, play on big equipment. So we had participants last year from GFL. They brought out a brand new garbage truck, completely clean, so kids got to climb on it. We had backhoes, we had buses, we had ladder truck from the fire department, squad cars. We had golf carts, wine carts brought out a lot of different equipment. So kids get to get in the trucks, they get to honk the horns, get to climb all over the big tires. Each business that comes out has a representative that's actually at their station, so they're letting the kids play on the equipment. We also have Oakland County Parks and Recreation that gives us a RAP grant, so we'll have some inflatable obstacles out there this year for kids too. So just an event for them to come out and play and interact, get to learn more about the businesses, and we will have a food truck there this year, and we have a DJ playing music throughout the event too.
thank
So-
you. I mean, it's really a good, it's a good deal and it's a big deal. There's a lot of people come out and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
So everybody gets to jump in something they may never get to jump in.
Yeah, for a first-time
That's
event
really fun.
last year, we had over 300 people attend we did 100 gift bags, 100 gift bags for the first kids there, and we went through them within the first 15 minutes
That's
of the
awesome.
project last year. So
That's
we're
awesome.
doubling up on the amount of gift bags that we give away for this year. So very excited.
Well, thank you for that.
Yep.
Is that good? Conclude?
Any questions?
Anybody?
All right, thank you.
All right, we're gonna move on to fire. Chief?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tonight,
Looking
I'm just
pretty
gonna,
spiffy there, Chief.
got big stuff happening tonight, so I gotta dress for the occasion. So far, for the month of March, our Fire Prevention Bureau did 19 inspections, which is just over totaling 1 million square feet worth of business. And so far, year to date, he's done 65 inspections, just over 2 million square feet so far for the year. For the month of last month, our crew averaged 9 hours per person of training. And currently, we are down 25 runs from last year. So we haven't had any big winter storms, so we're staying lower. We're at 458 this year compared to 483 last year. I got some good news. I heard back from a grant that we applied for through Michigan Municipal Risk Management. We are getting back $300 on the front push bumper that was placed on the new Chief 1 vehicle. We will be applying for that same one when C2 comes in. And in addition, for Captain Peters' staff and command last year, we're getting 75% of that class back from them, totaling $2,625 for that grant that we applied for. The next item on my agenda, if I could have Tyler Wozniak and his mother Tina come up. Tyler, you guys scheduled this meeting just for him this evening. This is his 1 year on the department, and he has completed our rigorous training program that we've got. And his mother is coming up to pin his badge on him.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna do it the way you told me to do it. He told me just to like slap it in there.
Let's see.
Do you need a stump?
There you go. All right.
All right. There you go.
All right.
Oh. Excellent. And my last item for you guys this evening that I have, if I could get Deputy Jason Viken step up here, firefighter Brian Holzheimer, firefighter Alan Klein, who can't make it this evening, firefighter Tom Arnold, I know he's here, he could come on up, firefighter Oliver Sturos, and we had firefighter Jonathan Lee, who was unable to make it this evening. On February 3rd, 2024 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Oakland County Sheriff's Department received a call, a 911 call from Walmart for a 60-year-old male who was not conscious, whose face was turning purple. Within 2 minutes of receiving the call, Deputy Jason Viken arrived on scene. Recognizing that the patient was in cardiac arrest, Deputy Viken immediately applied the automated external defibrillator, AED, administering 1 shock to the patient. Lyon Township Fire Department arrived on scene and continued CPR until Huron Valley Ambulance arrived. A total of 6 shocks were delivered, along with other advanced life-saving measures administered by the paramedics. Once the patient regained a pulse, he was prepared for transport and taken to Ascension Hospital in Novi. Without the quick actions of Deputy Jason Viken and firefighters Brian Holzheimer, Alan Clymer, Tom Arnold, Oliver Sturos, and Jonathan Lee, the outcome for this patient could have been drastically different. The Lyon Township Fire Department would like to recognize these gentlemen for their heroic actions in this incident by awarding them the department's life-saving award. With that being said, somewhere around here I've got a post-it note. This is, since we've been keeping track of it here, Deputy Viken's first life-saving award with us, so you have the ribbon that you can wear on yours, and the rest of the firefighters that are here. This is firefighter Holzheimer's second life-saving, Clymer's second life-saving, Arnold's third, and firefighter Sturos' second. And on there you guys have a star that you can put on your bar signifying each additional that you get. Thank you guys very much. You guys have any questions?
No, but I want to thank everybody that puts their time in this township. We have the best fire department and the best police department of anywhere around. I'm so proud of you guys. Makes me almost want to cry. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Gosh, great stuff. All right, we're gonna move on. LT.
Chief, I'd like one of those stars if you have the extras. I think I'm deserving of it, right? Vicariously through Viking. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have a couple of updates here. Let's talk about the current state of the substation. So we received our new table that the drunk destroyed a couple of months ago. It's looking good. It's been installed. We're still moving forward with prosecuting the individual that did that. Whenever we have a resolution, I will tell you the outcome. He's guilty, but I mean, we still have to go through the process. We did get our updated electrical plug installed in preparation for the CCTV for the lobby. So we'll be looking forward to finalize that. I want to say they pushed it back until mid-April. They're going to come out and start working with the CCTV. So we will have the lobby under video, as well as the area out in front for the e-commerce transactions. Next up is, so we partner with the DEA's National Prescription Take Back. We do it twice a year, once in April and the second time in October. Now, we at Lyon Township, we do have our own drug box that's open Monday through Friday with the same shift rotation as our desk deputy. But for these events, I staff it on a Saturday. It's usually from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Saturday. And what that's for the people that can't get in Monday through Friday, they can come deposit any kind of old medication that they'd like to into that receptacle without any issues. So the date for that will be Saturday, April 20th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And in addition to that, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office has partnered with the Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities. They've donated about 100 life-saving stations at all the various substations and locations related to Oakland County. And what these are for members of the community that need Narcan or any kind of brochures. I brought some visual aids. These boxes are great. This is what the Narcan looks like. It's completely free, so you can come up and take as many as you need, and it's staffed and refilled by our CIT unit. It's our crisis intervention team. So they'll come out at regular intervals to fill it. These are the drug deactivation systems. They're fancy. What you do is, if you have some drugs that you need to destroy, you can fill this thing halfway full of water, deposit the drugs, and it will neutralize them, and you can seal it up and throw it in the garbage can. Now, if the drug has a special set of rules for disposal, then we'd like you to follow those. But absent that, you can make them safe in this little system here, and it contains brochures for mental health and substance abuse. So, completely free. It's amazing. So, any members of the community that feels that they could benefit from these services, please come up to the Sheriff's Office. It's located outside of our main entrance at 58,000 Grand River, lower level of the township offices. And that concludes my reports. Are there any questions?
Good stuff.
All right.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna move on to the Planning Commission. Brian, do you have anything you wanna?
Yep, I can take that.
Okay.
For Patty, we had one meeting in March. We approved conditionally the site plan for the Magna addition and held the public hearing for the special land use that's on your agenda this evening. The Planning Commission also approved a generator enclosure building for Blue Cross Blue Shield. And they approved a site plan for the last of the outlots for Lion Crossing. This is the middle one between the previously approved strip mall and bank for Zeal Credit Union. So we already have one Planning Commission agenda scheduled for April 8th. We've got a couple of site residential subdivisions on the docket for discussion, as well as some ordinance amendments.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. Anybody have any questions? All right.
Hold
All right,
on to
we're
your
moving on.
hats.
Oh, you kidding me?
Yes,
Okay.
we have a meeting scheduled for April 15th.
Oh, you didn't have one?
No, we've got one. Come on now.
Oh,
She's telling us
It's-
about the one that's coming up.
Yes,
Okay.
Very
we did not have one last month, but we do, in fact, have a ZBA meeting.
With two.
Yes, two.
Yes, you heard me, two.
Don't steal my thunder, Carol.
She gets to do this like once a year.
You promised this before.
I have so many words. But there are two items on our agenda. One for a 3-foot variance requested for a Four Seasons room and a variance of 350 feet regarding a cul-de-sac extension. And that is going to be a riveting meeting.
That will be. All right, Lisa, thanks.
Riveting means really interesting, Sean.
Thank you. I was just Googling it.
All right, we're gonna move on to the building department, and unfortunately, you see, again, Dave is ill. I hope to bring you some more information about that a little later down the road here, but we don't have that today. Moving on to the water, so we got another promise for 3 weeks that they're gonna approve it. And I have got AOP online he's moving forward. He's getting everything stockpiled, but again, you know as well as I do, they could change their mind very quickly. So we're just praying that we get our written okay in about 2 to 3 weeks. And that was emailed today, so. And I did have some kind of cool news. Brian Holzheimer, firefighter Holzheimer, told me that they had a mutual aid fire in Greeno Township, and we took our tanker truck over there, and the firefighters could not believe how clean our water was in our tank. They said, that's the cleanest water I've ever seen in any tank, ever. I was so proud of that. So cool. But anyway. It's funny how little goofy things like that make me happy. I've been working on this water a long time. But any questions about the water? I mean, I hope to have better news at the end of next month. You know, hopefully everything goes accordingly and we can get online. So if there's no questions, we're gonna end the reports, and we have no unfinished business. We're gonna move to our first new business, which is Magna Building Additions Special Land Use. Brian, you wanna talk about that one a little bit?
I can, thank you, John. I mentioned the Planning Commission held the public hearing for the proposed expansion to the Magna Building. I'm sorry, I don't have it up. I can put it up on the screen if you'd like, but the addition is a little over 120,000 square feet on the far east side of the building. There's also a storage building that is proposed on the southwest side of the building, a detached standalone storage building. There is some office space that's being added to the building as well on the southwest corner and the far east side of the building. The reason that this project is coming to you this evening is because the site is in the Wellhead Protection Overlay District. I think it's worth noting that this addition was originally envisioned as part of the site plan for the project, and this would complete the build out for the project based on that original approval. So with that, we reviewed the project for compliance with the site plan review standards of Article 6. I don't have any concerns of note that we need to talk about this evening. Obviously, one of the standards being basis of need, and this is a building that keeps continuing to grow, and obviously business is good for that tenant, for the building to continue to expand. We noted in the Planning Commission review that there is not an MDEQ checklist, but there is an industrial activity statement that was provided. The DEQ checklist was subsequently provided, and there is some clarification that was requested as part of that meeting about the operational chemicals in the building and any use of PFAS or PFOA, and both of those have been confirmed by the applicant as not part of the operation. So we expect that this expansion is going to continue to be utilized for the fabrication of parts and assemblies that already go on in the building. This is going to be just an expansion of that same process, and so we don't see any additional concerns with the operation. With that, the Planning Commission did have a few comments that have been addressed conditionally. One of the things that they wanted us to relay to the to the Township Board is the desire to make sure that all outdoor racking ends up going inside of that accessory building, and that we, for lack of a better term, establish an understanding that racking won't be permitted outside of the structure itself, since that's not permitted per our ordinance today. So, but with that, the Planning Commission did approve the site plan, and they did recommend approval of the special land use, and we found the same thing in our review of the standards. So you can take any questions that you might have and let me know if you'd like me to put the plan up on the board.
Okay, Leslie, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
I just wanted to comment on two of the items in our review letter. Regarding the comment about PFAS and PFOA, we did receive confirmation from representatives of Magna, but I would recommend that should the board approve this tonight, it's conditional that PFAS and PFOA regulated chemicals are prohibited from being used on site, and also the outdoor storage of salt, de-icing materials, pesticides are also prohibited per your wellhead ordinance.
Okay. Are the applicants here? Are they here?
Yeah.
Okay. And I won't bring you up unless there's questions. Does anyone have any this is special land use, and I believe it's per the wellhead protection plan, basically? Okay. So the site plan has been approved by the board, so all we have to deal with is a special land use. Does anyone have any questions for the applicants? Okay.
I don't know if it's a question more than, or maybe more of a comment, but screening has always been kind of a challenge with that site. We've got doors facing the road. We had some, I think, landscaping that needed to be replaced and was. Our landscape standards have changed, and now a larger species is required at each of the plantings, which will help. But I would just say that any additional planting, even if it's on the other phase that you find to be helpful or necessary, or any infilling, replacement of dead material should happen, I think, as a result of this. So if you would please address that. If you see some gaps where you can put some 8-footers in instead of the old 6-footers, that would be great. And I'm not talking about 100 trees, I'm talking about a handful of trees, just to kind of help thicken that berm up a little bit. Okay.
My only comment's just the fire marshal review, just making sure all those, the 5 items and his are addressed and it.
Chief, are you good?
They'll be addressed as part of the construction plans submitted.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, motion be in order.
Make a motion that we approve AP 24-09B, subject to the fire department review letter and checklist, subject to the CES letter dated 3/22/24, subject to the McKenna letter dated 3/25/24, and just recognizing that outdoor storage will no longer be permitted. And in specific, I want to address the PFAS, PFOA, and storage of any chemicals, fertilizers, de-icing that has been specified today, just making sure it's very clear in the record that none of that can be stored on site per the wellhead protection requirements.
I'll support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We're gonna move on. Centerpoint Medical Center condominium review. Brian, you wanna take that?
Okay, I will. I'll start by saying this is a little bit of an unusual request, so I do, outside of this, I'd like to potentially poll the township board to see if these are projects that you'd like to see. The reason that this project is coming before you this evening is because your ordinance requires the township board to review and approve any condominium projects. Typically, the condominium projects that the township board has seen are larger residential projects or townhome projects or pretty significant site-related condo projects. In this instance, the owners wish to condo the individual suites inside the building, so there's going to be separate owners on each of the suites. From a planning and land use perspective, we don't have any issues with this. It doesn't present any changes or change the requirements of the ordinance in any real way, but it does require the township board to weigh in. So it's our recommendation to approve this project this evening. They've met all the site plan requirements and do hold a site plan approval from the Planning Commission. And then the aside would be a better understanding of whether the township board would like to see condominiums inside of a individual structure come before the board in the future.
Okay.
But we don't have to do that tonight if you don't want. It's just a point that arose during this review, that this is typically a little beyond what the township board would typically like to see.
Okay, any questions?
I think for a B2 zoning, I mean, this is a pretty good use. It's going to be pretty quiet, you know, like a 9 to 5 type operation by the residents that are there. So for what other options there could have been there, this will hopefully be pretty quiet. And as far as the way the arrangement of the condoing out of the units, I don't see that as being problematic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No, it didn't look like there were any comments at the planning commission minutes. Brian, I asked you a little bit, just making sure that they do meet the lot coverage requirement, or they're not over the lot coverage requirement. It sounds like they had previously reduced it, so they meet that.
And I know we're not getting deep into site plan details, but the screening thing is always big. I mean, I know we're not talking about restaurants open till 11 o'clock at night with headlights swing into, you know, people's front yards, but half the year it's dark fairly early, and so any screening that can be added, if there's potential to do that between this site and the properties to the west and the south, would be great.
Okay, anybody else? You wanna make make a motion? Anyone would like to make a motion, move this forward?
I'd be happy to. I'll move the approval of AP 23-28.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay, consideration of a request to approve an application to the state of Michigan for farmland development rights agreement. And I know we talked about this a little bit, and I think there's a little snafu here and there, and Brian, do you want to explain it so that they understand what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know if snafu is the right word. It's, this is not something that we have dealt with. We were going back through the records, and I don't know that the township board has ever been presented with one of these applications in the past, so we're wrapping our heads around the notification requirements and things like that. The notices did go out to the surrounding jurisdictions last week, and actually April and I had a conversation with the county planner this afternoon, who is going to be issuing his letter. He's going to be issuing it tomorrow. He wasn't able to get it done before the meeting today, but ultimately the way that this is going to work is they're locking themselves into farmland related, farming related uses that they've defined in your application. It really doesn't have any impact on the uses that that the township would hold them to. They fall underneath the R1 zoning district anyways, so there's no impacts to the land use as far as we're concerned with that. In speaking with the Oakland County planner today, we did talk a little bit about some concerns that he has seen on other applications such as this. Things like, how is the landowner going to deal with fertilizer? Are there any legal implications with the open water body that's next door? And he did highlight that there are some use restrictions and easement restrictions that I think some of you on this board may have some background on from several years ago that he uncovered when he did his title search that he's going to highlight in his letter. However, the way that we discussed things with him and left it with him, he's going to present those to the township as informational items that we should direct the state to investigate and confirm. And so in his discussion today, it seemed most appropriate for the township board to address any concerns that you might have, raise any red flags that you might have, but we could make any action towards approval conditioned on the issuance of his letter and any items that he brings up, or any of the other jurisdictions bring up. So that's where we've left it today. I can have answer any questions, or I know Carol knows a whole lot about this as well too. So
Okay.
This is Carol's first day back to work, okay?
sorry, Carol. Get to work.
So, does anyone have any questions about this agreement, this application?
I feel like,
It's-
sorry. I've done a couple of these over the years, and I feel like it's really a requirement the state has for the applicant, so we can just sort of get out of the way and let them work with MDARD. And obviously, the zoning still has to be adhered to. This is a state agriculture and possibly a taxation benefit for applicants. And as far as I'm concerned, we can get out of the way and let them just work with MDARD and follow the zoning. We would have no issue.
Yeah, I kind of view it as more of a approval of no objection.
Right.
A recommendation that we don't object more than anything.
Right.
Yep, that's the way I feel about it too.
I mean, it's nice the state asks, but generally in a use like this, in a community that's growing, when someone wants to preserve land this way, sounds great. It'd be great if a few more people did it.
Yeah.
Just on actual usable land would be nice in the next one.
Sure.
You know, there's 90% of this site is water, so I don't know how much we're protecting, but
Gotta start somewhere.
yeah.
So how would we motion that, just as a no objection motion to move it forward? Is that what you're looking for? Or the what do you think, Carol?
It wasn't particularly clear.
If
to
this
me.
board doesn't mind that it moves forward, I mean,
Yeah, what's it say on the application? It says it must be approved.
Within 45 days, I think, right?
Yeah.
Farmland and Open Space Preservation Program, PA 116, right?
Yeah, they give options of either approved or rejected.
Reserve the local government. You can approve or reject.
So we
You
just
just have to
approve it
check the
if we don't
box.
have a problem with it.
Subject to the things Brian,
So I would just,
Is that a motion?
oh,
I have a question before we.
Go ahead.
Carol, in the application, it identifies that, they were looking at pumpkins, grapes, and sweet corn. Would they have to reapply if they chose to use, or grow something else?
I really don't know if they're limited to only those things to
Not
grow.
according to what we were told.
What?
Not according to what we were told. They asked us what we've been growing there at the time currently.
I mean, it would
Okay.
seem to me as long as it's still farm
Right, I
crops,
just,
it doesn't, you know.
I don't wanna
wouldn't
lock
matter.
them into only those 3 items if they, and have them reapply,
Yeah.
so I just didn't know if that meant they would have to.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, we're growing other things on other parts of the property, but this was the only one that would qualify because 50% of the land is being farmed. You have to, in order for it to qualify, it should be 51% of the land.
April, do you need her on the record? Do we need to put her on the
Yeah,
record?
probably.
Yeah, I've got her information.
Okay, I'm sorry, I
No,
just,
that's fine.
we probably should
Yeah.
get you up on the record.
Mandy
Name.
Fletcher, 26710 South Hill Road, New Hudson.
Thank you.
Yes, so I felt much more comfortable back there, I'm not gonna lie.
You're good. Don't worry, you're good.
Yeah, so we're farming other things, you know, and originally, I didn't really know, because I didn't know how to do this. I did not know I had to go in front of the board. I thought I came and brought it to Michelle, and she signed off, and then I sent it away. And then they said, no, it's gotta go to a meeting. So I said, oh, I didn't know. I thought all farmers did this. I had no idea, and I'm very new at farming. He does most of that stuff. But, yeah, so we've got peppers and a lot of other things that we're growing. That's right now what we're growing down there. It's almost all sweet corn, but we've added a whole lot of grapevines too, so, that are right up on Haas Road, and they're starting to look really cool. You know, it takes a couple years. The first ones, we did 20 of them. I wanted to see if they died, and they didn't, so we got 72 more coming this year. But it takes a few years to get them going, so, you know, we're excited about it, and, yeah, I had no idea it was gonna be this, that we needed approval to farm. Everybody said, you need to do blah, 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 and then you get this something, I don't even know if I'll get this tax credit, because there's this weird equation that they have to figure out. It's not from you guys, my taxes remain the same. I really don't even understand it. He says, what can it hurt to try? I said, all right, I'll try, but I didn't know I had to come up here and do all this, but that's all right. I'm gonna submit it and see what they say. I don't know I would like to ask Brian, like with the fertilizer, we're not using any chemical fertilizers, so I don't know.
I think more than anything, it was something that the county planner said he sees a lot of, when he's reviewing those, they end up being flagged eventually by the state as inquiries that they might have. So
Mhm.
they may ask you, once it gets to the state level,
Okay.
do you have a specified list of fertilizers that you're using or pesticides or anything like that?
And we're just using the newer,
Okay,
so,
so it's likely gonna be nothing, but it was something that he flagged that he has seen asked before. So
okay.
I'm certainly not trying to.
So you're saying, like, if
negate
you
that.
guys approve this today, we still have to wait for approval from this person that
So,
you're talking about?
yes, this application requires us to notify the county planning jurisdiction.
Okay.
So we'll get his letter and, I assume he's gonna address it to you as well. If not, I'm happy to forward that on when we get it, or if it goes to April, it might go to you. Happy to forward that on, but he said the way that most communities operate, they incorporate their recommendations or items for review as part of the record that gets sent to the state.
Okay, gotcha.
But to me, what he called out didn't seem particularly problematic. It was more things that people knew about and were used to processing.
Okay, all right.
And if I can add, you know, good question about listing the specific. If you look at the application, there's a parentheses that says type of agricultural enterprise,
Mhm.
and it says, for example, cash crops. I would suggest that you, right now, verbally amend your application so that it would be sweet corn, pumpkins, grapes, and other cash crops. Just in case so you're not
Locked in.
pinning
You're not locked
yourself
into those
down
three.
Okay,
to.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Cause I would hate for that
should
to,
get
Yeah.
you
to it
change,
as well.
you see something that, you know, is successful or you
Yeah.
maybe isn't successful and you wanna switch, I wouldn't want you to have to reapply for this whole thing again,
Yeah,
so.
it looks like you simply could have put cash crops.
Okay,
So,
yeah, like I said, I didn't even really know who to bring it to. I went through a whole lot of antics to figure this all out, but I figured it out, I think. All right, so can I do that right now with
Yep.
this and then just amend it? Which page was that on?
that is on
Three?
page
Page three?
take care of it when we're signing it, but it's.
Okay,
yes, it's
type of
page 2, yeah.
agricultural,
Yeah,
and so
item
then,
six.
If you count the cover.
and then just add,
And cash.
and
other
then
cash crops.
initial it or
Other
something
cash
right here?
crops, yeah.
Okay. All right, and then the other question I have, because I had filled out 2 of these because I didn't know if I could incorporate, because I am planting on other ones, but they aren't covering 50% of it. So I talked to April about it, and I did the whole thing kind of twice and asked her which one am I supposed to do, and she thought just do the one that definitely qualifies. So I just want to make sure that the page that you guys are signing, I had 2 different numbers put on the number of years you wish to run this agreement for, so we just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah,
Says
we have
40.
40.
I have 30, so that's
Oh.
that's why I wanted to ask. I have that one in the car if you need me to go
Do you
swap
prefer?
it out.
Yeah, what's the
30?
preference?
I guess I don't even really understand what that means. So that means I agree to keep it
Yeah.
farmland for 30 years,
Mhm.
as long as I own it, but if I sold it, does that, I mean, I don't plan on selling it, but God forbid I had to, how does that work?
I don't know.
There's
I
a-
think
it would run
There's a
with the
way
land.
to withdraw the application
Yeah.
too.
There's a process.
Okay,
in
so-
statute, so you'd have to follow that.
Yeah, so I would say probably 30, we'll just leave it at that, and then we,
Is the tax ID, the parcel ID that we just, do you have that, just to clarify that that's the same too?
Yeah.
As, we've got
010?
14 400 010.
correct, yeah, that's the correct one.
Alright. So I guess I would make a motion to approve the application for farmland development rights agreement with the discussed amendments from 40 to 30 years and the addition of and other cash crops to the type of agricultural use, subject to the review of the conditions of the other agencies. Does that work?
I
Okay.
think that's amazing and I will support it.
All right, we have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you very much.
thanks.
Should I fill this out with you?
All right, now we're gonna move on to the consideration to approve the fire department dedicated millage renewal proposal. I don't know if all of you have had a chance to read through this. It's worded pretty well. And basically, we're keeping everything the same. So,
I think it's very helpful to have the list of all the things that we've been doing, because when the public is asked, and generally renewals, when people are happy with the service they have, and our police and fire services are excellent, I think it's very helpful to have something like that to point to when they wanna know what the plans are. And, you know, the CIP is a little tough to read for most people, so having it in this kind of format is, I think, very helpful. And so now, we'll have it today and for you to use going forward, so, thank you.
yeah, I think it's worded really well.
Yes.
I think it's put together very well. Okay, so motion be in order to put this on the ballot.
Well, as a member of the fire, are we both on the
Yeah,
fire
I think
committee?
that's us.
Well, we should do it then,
Okay.
I think, and then let them do that. Would you
Alright.
wanna do it, or do you want me to?
Sure. Alright, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-15, approving a proposal for renewal of the fire department dedicated millage.
Support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let's move on to the approving the police department dedicated millage combination and renewal proposal. Again, I think it's all worded very well, and
Do we have a presentation, Russ? You're gonna,
I don't, but I can stand up and do what I want to do.
I didn't know.
The fire committee people were really easy on
Yeah.
the first one. I mean, this is really
So much pressure.
egregious. Egregious means nasty.
Well, theirs is longer, so.
Well, I have submitted some documents for my supporting reasoning for this combination and approval. Does anyone have any questions as
I
it
do
relates to
not.
those?
No, but I do appreciate the.
We do
the
like you're
memo
here
again
to
and the
answer them.
Consolidation.
Yeah, the consolidation is nice. It simplifies.
Yeah, for tax purposes, right? And then we'll be asking for the renewal of that rate for an additional 10 years, long beyond my 10-year years, so.
Maybe.
I think,
We let you.
you know, the one thing we didn't mention, I know we just did a new millage a couple of years ago for fire, but most communities are going for renew and restore, which is to really put back and sort of, it's not really much of an increase, but it is an increase. So this township, we talk about a lot of growth and what that brings. And it brings the ability of us, or for us, to just allow renewals to happen and for that Headley rollback to happen on everyone's taxes. So they pay just a little bit less per household, and that's offset by all the new development. So I think that's a positive thing. So when you talk about the growth, it's questions like this where you're actually saving money, and maybe it's $20 or $50 a year for the average homeowner, but it's something, and it's worth pointing to. It's a positive. So this is just a renewal for both of these millages. It's not a renew and restore. Nothing against renew and restores, but that's not what we're asking for because we've decided we don't need to, and I think that should be reported.
Yeah, and to sum that up, it's actually like what, two tenths lower. The renewal request would be 2/10 lower with the Headley rollback, a little more than 2/10. So.
All right, do I hear a motion coming?
Well, I believe that
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Everybody's taking each other's roles here. I would like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-16, approving the police department dedicated millage combination and renewal proposal.
I support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes.
See, you did that.
See, thank you.
Great
I
job.
brought you up.
Hey, nice haircut too.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you cut your, oh yeah, I thought you meant me. I was like, well, mine just falls out. Yours you have to cut.
All right, now we're gonna move on to authorizing the adoption of the Oakland County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazardous Mitigation Plan. And we do these, and the chief works on these, and it's just something the county likes us to do. And so,
Are you gonna read the multi-100-page document to us?
977 page.
Yeah.
But I don't think we want to be here that long. I think it's over 1,000 pages.
900.
yeah, it gets very long.
Yeah, it's a long document. Basically, to sum it up, it is just for disaster planning throughout the county, and this allows us to be eligible for grant opportunities locally and federally by having this plan
Which
in
is good.
place.
Yeah, and I think we have to do this every few years, right?
It's supposed to be every 5, but I think it got missed the last evolution because of COVID.
Did it?
It just
I
took
thought
that
we
much
did.
longer to put all the 900 pages together.
I think
I thought
it's
the chief did this, I think Van did this.
I think he did, but I think this was a 7-year instead of a 5-year. It was
Yeah.
slightly longer than the typical.
The county, it took the county a little longer to get it out, you're saying,
Yes.
right? Not that
Yes.
we didn't, right?
Correct. Yes. County and statewide took longer.
Well, I think almost every community in the county adopts the same plan, so
Yeah.
it's like
Yes, they
maybe
do. They do.
It's
two.
kind of what I
There's
was
no
saying.
negotiating. You adopt it, like everything else with the county. You adopt it, or
Exactly.
you're out.
Yeah, you do it or you don't.
Yes. Correct.
Like dispatching.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-17, which is the authorization of the adoption of the Oakland County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome. Just keep standing there, chief.
Yes,
We
sir.
got you up again. Fire department request for approval to purchase 10 Motorola P25 portable radios. Okay, guys got a chance to read through this?
Save money.
Yeah,
good.
coming under budget, and this, it's a great thing that we got a new radio system through Oakland County, but the way they did their allotments of radios is each full-timer counted as one person, part-time paid on-call staff was a half of a person. And when this was originally done, our makeup was a little bit different, so we got hit pretty hard on the number of radios that we were allocated. So this will put me to the point to where we'll have enough radios for every person on staff with 1 or 2 spares as a radio has to go into the shop to get fixed or repaired or something like that, that we'll still have enough for every active firefighter in the service.
You won't assign them to trucks, they'll be portables that they'll carry.
Correct.
Will we be able to add radios at some point in the near future?
Anytime we want.
Okay.
Just by jumping on, so what I did is I jumped on a multi-purchase agreement with Livingston County, and by doing this, we're saving 35% per radio, which got me substantially under budget from what we actually originally budgeted for this project.
I mean, they're expensive. You could add 1 more radio if you needed it and still be under budget, but
yeah.
you're good with the 10.
Oh yeah, I'm good with the 10, and yeah, we're good, and we could add more radios if needed, but I think we're good at the 10 for now.
So this is good stuff. Save some money.
I'd
Would you
like-
like to make that motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 10 Motorola P25 portable radios for a total cost of $80,372, with, which will include programming and a 5-year warranty.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, coming to our last item here. This is a request for upgrades to our fire station access controls. We talked about this, Reggie and I, or Chief and I, and we really need to do this, so. 22 grand, we had it budgeted for what, 33?
Yes, sir.
So we're under a little bit
Yeah.
on that also.
Significantly, yeah.
But this part is needed badly.
Is this the same vendor that
Yep.
did this building?
Yep. Yep,
Yeah,
it's all star.
Yeah, they've basically done all the work at our building, and they did the most recent project here.
Yeah, they do great work.
Yeah, phenomenal vendor.
Make a motion to approve the fire department request for approval to upgrade fire station access control systems for an amount not to exceed $22,779.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we got through that pretty well.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything left to talk about?
I'm just excited for that ZBA meeting.
Yeah, there you go.
I can tell.
All right, I'm gonna consider this, meeting closed. Adjourned.
Well done, sir.
Thanks, everybody.
6:53.
You almost missed the meeting.
Oh my God, it's really I'm actually just thinking.
Are you driving slow? You drive slow? You're a slow driver, aren't you? You forgot how to get here? Is that what you're getting?